Please rise. Look at the American flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, the clerk will read the charge.
Town of Ayer. Oops, not even on. What?
Speak up.
You're
Speak
not.
up.
It's not on.
There is no speakers. Speak up.
All right.
Curtin, you got a big voice.
You step back. Town of Ayer special town meeting warrant. Great Hall, second floor, Ayer Town Hall, 1 Main Street, Ayer, Mass. 01432. September 25th, 2017 at 7 p.m. Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Middlesex County. Greetings. In the name of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, you are hereby directed to notify and warn the inhabitants of the town of Ayer qualified to vote in town elections and affairs to meet in the Great Hall of the Ayer Town Hall located at 1 Main Street, Ayer, Massachusetts, on Monday, the 25th day of September 2017 at 7 o'clock in the evening, then and there to act in the following article. Hereof fail not, and make due return of this warrant with your doings thereof to the town clerk before the date appointed for said meeting. Given under our hands this 5th day of September 2017. Christopher R. Hillman, Chairman. Janice L. Livingston, Vice Chairman. Gary J. Luca, Clerk, Ayer Board of Selectmen. A true copy attest, Susan Copeland, September 8th, 2017. Town Clerk. As directed in the foregoing warrant, I have this day posted 3 attested copies in 3 public places, one of which was the Town Hall at least 14 days before said meeting, all as herein directed. Samuel A. Goodwin, Constable, September 8th, 2017.
Okay, Article 1. Special tax assessment agreement between the town and American Superconductor Corporation and 114 East Main Street, LLC. To see if the town will vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to enter into a special tax assessment agreement pursuant to the provisions of General Laws, Chapter 23A, Section 3E, Subsection C, and subject to the provisions of General Laws, Chapter 23A, Sections 3A through 3F, inclusive. General Laws, Chapter 40, Section 59, and General Laws, Chapter 59, Section 5, as may be amended from time to time between the town and American Superconductor Corporation and 114 East Main Street, LLC, for property located at 114 East Main Street, 14 Sandy Pond Road, shown as Parcel 119 on Assessors Map 28 and Parcel 75 of Assessors Map 34, substantially in form as on file with the town clerk, and authorize the Board of Selectmen to enter into any agreements and execute any documents relative thereto, and to take any actions as are necessary or appropriate to effectuate the purpose of this article, or to take any action thereon or in relation thereto. Ms. Livingston.
I move that the town vote to authorize the Board of Selectmen to enter into special tax assessment agreement with American Superconductor Corporation and 114 East Main Street, LLC, and to authorize the Board of Selectmen to enter into any agreements and to execute any documents relative thereto.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Mr. Pomprian?
Mr. Moderator, through you to the town meeting, good evening. For the purposes of the special tax assessment agreement, we want to provide you with an overview of that agreement. So I'm going to provide a brief overview of how we got to the agreement. The Director of Economic Development, through the moderator, will talk about the economic piece briefly. The Finance Committee also has a presentation. And then through the moderator, if the body is willing, we do have in attendance the Chief Executive Officer and the Chief Financial Officer of American Superconductor, if the opportunity is afforded them to tell you a little bit about their company and their plans coming forward. So what is before you tonight? Article 1 is asking you as town meeting to authorize the Board of Selectmen to negotiate the special tax assessment agreement that has been put forward. You saw that was available at Town Hall, was also available on the town's website, Facebook page, and there are copies of the draft agreement in the back. Just give you a brief sense of the process, which is important. American Superconductor informally approached the town of Ayer in the end of April of 2017 with an interest to move their operation from Devon down to where Kane's used to be, the former Kane's facility. From June through August, and specifically starting in July, when after those informal discussions, I went to the Board of Selectmen, and the Board of Selectmen in an open session meeting authorized myself, the town's assessor, Mr. John Hogan, Mr. Alan Manoy, the Economic Development Director, Ms. Antonellis from my office, to formally negotiate a proposed special tax assessment agreement for consideration. Those negotiations proceeded throughout the summer. On September 5th, the Board of Selectmen, an open session meeting, received a presentation on that and did approve the special tax assessment agreement to be moved forward to town meeting for consideration. And just for everybody's benefit, a special tax assessment agreement must be approved by town meeting in order to go into effect. Additionally, on September 22nd, the Mass Office of Business Development has a committee, it's a state agency, that also has to certify the agreement, mostly to certify that it's true to form and accurate. That process did happen at the Worcester City Hall last week with Mr. Manoy present, as well as American Superconductor. We also conducted, which some of you were at, and I hope you were able to see if they came back to filming it. We did conduct a public forum to answer questions, which you'll see a lot of the material we're going to give you tonight is from that presentation. Prior to that, I also took this agreement and process to the Finance Committee and discussed at length with them. They will be reporting shortly on their report with respect to that. So that was the process. Now we're here at town meeting for your consideration to authorize the Board of Selectmen to proceed with the agreement. Finally, in terms of the timeline, it's American Superconductor's intent to move their operation to the Kane's facility by March 31st, 2018. So finally, I'm just going to give a brief snapshot of the overview of the elements of the agreement. I'm sure there'll be more questions through the moderator that can be answered. But sort of in a nutshell of the agreement, it's a proposed 10-year reduced tax assessment with a 15-year commitment to the property. It includes clawback provisions, which we will talk about later, but there's sort of safeguards for the town in this agreement. It does provide American Superconductor with a reduced property tax assessment for 10 years. We will discuss that later as well and have that information for you. American Superconductor will move its corporate headquarters, its grid tech manufacturing operations, and its administrative support functions all to Ayer. The property owner will make capital investments to the property. It will relocate 82 employees currently in its existing corporate headquarters on Devon's here to Ayer. The agreement specifically specifies that they will make preference to use local contractors and companies to support its business operations, and they will partner with the Ayer Office of Community and Economic Development to develop a high school innovation technology apprentice program, both at the Ayer Shirley Regional High School and the Neshoba Valley Tech Regional High School. So that's sort of an overview of the main highlights of that agreement. So with that, Mr. Moderator.
Any further discussion? Mr. Hood. Yeah. Can you make an announcement first, Scott? Let's make a quick announcement first. You may notice tonight We were not using amplification. There are no speakers in the room. We found out, I consulted with an acoustic engineer. This room was designed for use with spoken word, not with the amplification. So if you want to speak a little loud, everybody can hear you. Okay?
So the recommendation was unanimous to approve the SCA. The approval is up and warrant is the board of selectmen ability to enter into an agreement with American Superconductor, but that can be modified and everything is based on agreement. So our unanimous recommendation is based upon a tangible contribution to the town by American Superconductor within the first 5 years of the agreement. Some of the ideas that were tossed around were like sidewalk investment, or maybe a park somewhere. It's something that the taxpayer gets out from their investment. And that's, the work with the best information we have in about a week's time from the time the board of selectmen approved it, receive the information, we can have our finance committee. Right. So if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask any throughout the meeting.
You ask questions through the moderator, sir. Stand up.
So, it doesn't say here at this time of the file, is this exemption for all taxes or just a portion of taxes?
The portion of the tax, I'll refer to the town administrator as more details.
Mr. Pompriant.
Mr. Moderator, through you, if there is not objection, I would ask the town assessor, Tom Hogan,
Actually, he's a town official. He does not need unanimous consent.
to explain the gentleman's question that there may have.
How bad was that?
The tax implications.
But, Tom, come over here and face the crowd.
That's why we don't
Face
give
the
a
town.
town objects at town meeting.
So I should go down there to do my thing?
Oh, you can do that here, just when you take it.
Just speak up. Yeah.
You can go down on the floor if you want just to watch. I've done that before.
I guess I'll just give a little bit of background on how the SCA works. We agreed for 15 years, but the tax incentive is only for 10. And with an SCA, what you're really voting on is in the middle of that spreadsheet is a
I
box.
don't have those handouts with me.
The essence of SBA is that the town's going to vote on that valuation section. So on the first year of the agreement, 90% of the valuation, current valuation is going to be exempted. Then on year 2 it goes to 70%, 50%. And in year 10, it decreases down to 5%. So most of the tax benefit is most of it is the first 5 years, and over time, it's less and less of a tax benefit for the company. I used that spreadsheet to estimate the total impact over the 10-year period of this agreement were to be approved for the town meeting. And what I came up with was that over the course of 10 years, the total real estate taxes exempted is $489,336. Now, we all know the property taxes, that $489,336 doesn't disappear from the budget. The remaining taxpayers will pay a portion of that amount based on the relative amount of their property in relation to all others. So it's essentially a subsidy, 10-year subsidy, most of the benefits the first 5 years. And I estimated that if this had gone into effect for the prior tax year, that is 2017, I think Scott spoke to this, the impact on the average single-family home would have been $29 for the year, and the impact on the median commercial industrial property would have been $26 a year. And over the life of the special tax agreement, the total impact on this, the total estimated impact on the average residential property is $122, and on the median commercial industrial property, it's $89.
Any further discussion? Sir, may I say your name, sir? State your name.
Nathan King. This is also directed to the finance committee or the tax advisor. If the property remains vacant, what impact does that have on the taxpayer?
Well, as I explained at the public forum, it's been vacant for about a year and a half now, I believe. And in Massachusetts, we apply market rent, market vacancy, market expenses to commercial industrial property. So we're still applying market data to determine the valuation on those things. So there's been no impact to the assessed valuation due to the fact that it's been vacant. It can be vacant for a number of reasons. It can be some sort of specific obsolescence or maybe the building, or it could simply be that the property owner maybe has too much rent, market rents, in turn keep the property vacant. The Board of Assessors were not approached by previous owner. I don't believe an appeal or any discussions took place with respect to an appeal being filed on that. The Board of Assessors dealing with it would appeal. But in the past, in certain cases, the Board of Assessors, when they've seen properties that have been vacant year after year after year, there's usually some sort of obsolescence specific to that property. And the Board of Assessors will address it in their evaluation approach. But it's a little too early to do something like that at this particular time.
Any further discussion? Mr. Gill.
Yes, we are. Yeah, the total assessed valuation is, as it is on the spreadsheet, is $3,934,000. And then the tax rate's $30.64, so
Like the way he said is that they can go through an abatement process.
Any further discussion?
As well as the tax
Sir?
valuation.
My state your name.
Jim McLeod. The finance committee alluded to some concerns about the long-term liability of the company. Could you speak a little bit more about that?
Yeah, if you want to speak to it.
Yeah, I'll be happy to do that. If you can't hear me, let me know, and I'll be happy to move down front. Should I move down front?
You don't need to.
All right.
Do you want me to use the microphone or no? Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Kicking it old school. Yes. Democracy is pure as gold. Do you have a number on that? Do you have a number on how long it'll take?
Year 2000 through 2016, and I have a copy here of a printout of the last investment conference that occurred in August of 2017. So this is in my record. I'm not going to give you an opinion. I'm not going to give you any advice. I'm going to give you numbers. You're going to make your own decisions. American Representative, this is 1987, I believe. They made money in one quarter the last 30 years. This last quarter, they did $8.9 million in revenue, and on that they lost $15.9 million. They raised money in 2015 for the sale of stock. They raised money in May of 2017 for the sale of stock. And they're trying to make over to this 240 days worth of cash on hand. And in the opinion of the finance committee, that's not a measurement, it's not a judgment, it's an issue that you should all know about and use in the decision process. Any questions?
Any further discussion? There being none? Oh, Mr. Bedertha.
I've talked to multiple neighbors. They didn't get it. I didn't get it. Is there a reason for that, or?
Refer that to the town clerk.
Moderator, through you, Mr. Rivera, in this case where it was a special town meeting that part of the schedule, we were going to do it, hoping to do it in October, but due to the state's timeline, had to do it in September. Though not a legal requirement, the special town meeting, this one was not factored for in the budget, so the decision was made to post the warrant in the appropriate places throughout town, post it on the town's website and Facebook page. It's also available at the town's people when we get to some of that fault. We did do the public forum. We also did 2 robocalls, if you will, to remind about tonight's meeting.
Okay.
There was not one sent to each of the households.
Mr. Moderator,
Mr. Maxon.
Frank Maxon, William Street. I understand that
Frank, speak up.
That
That won't help you. That's only recording. Speak up.
Frank,
Okay.
yell.
Oh, right. I understand that National Superconductor is moving out of their facility in Harvard to occupy space in Ayer. What size, how many square feet are they leaving in Harvard? How many square feet will they be occupying in Ayer?
Tom Hogan.
I didn't hear the first amount. From 300 to 55,000 to 9,000. 90,000. So it's roughly 3 to 1. I'm wondering, what's going on with this company? How can they maintain their production and their sales in 1/3 or 1/4 of the space? Are we getting a lively, vibrant company here, or are we getting a company that's on life support?
Mr. Pombrian.
Mr. Moderator, through you, in order to answer Mr. Maxon's question, as I mentioned, the CEO and CFO of American Superconductor are here, and if through the moderator, through the body, would afford them an opportunity to answer that question.
Okay, let me put it to vote. This is,
I'd be happy to hear their answer.
okay. Well, Frank, let me do it in order, okay? In order for them to address town meeting, it requires unanimous consent among the voters. Does anybody object to the CFO and the CEO of the American Superconductor addressing town meeting? There being none, gentlemen, I'll ask Mr. Pombrian to introduce them.
Members of the town meeting, this is Mr. Dan Magan, the Chief Executive Officer of American Superconductor, who was at our public forum and involved in the negotiations with the moderator to address.
Sir, you have the floor. Yeah.
I'll just say, in relation to some of the questions that we had, and understand a little bit about who we are, what we're trying to do, and specific answer your questions, sir. It really is a change in the manufacturing process that we made a few years ago, that simply we don't need to be in a space that large in order to continue the operation
Thank you. Thank you. Any further discussion? Yes. I have somebody. I've already recognized somebody.
I appreciate this is a great innovation company and they're trying hard to save their company. But when I researched it, I found more difficulties and I found independent people that was a business column in the Worcester Telegram in 2014 titled "Is Devon's AMSC Circling the Drain?" More recently, just this August, they did a column titled "AMSC Shrinking More Slowly Than Expected." But they have been, I think, projecting losses about 36 million this year, which is much higher than last year. And next year, the losses are projected to be even much higher than that. I think 41 million. I saw on Glassdoor where employees write about their workplaces, mostly complaining about morale. For instance, one person said the only downside to working an American superconductor was the stability of business. Another says it's completely unknown even to us on the inside whether the company will make it. Even after their Navy contract they had before, it doesn't look like it's going to be enough to turn them around. I hope it does, but CFRA, which is one of the largest independent investment research firms, just on the 14th after the Navy contract, listed them as a recommendation for a strong sell. It's a fabulous company. I hope they make it, but we're being asked for close to $500,000 to a company that I think somebody suggested looks like it's on a cookie on its last leg.
Mr. Fay.
Mr. Moderator, my question is how many jobs did they serve belong to?
Mr. Pomerant.
Mr. Moderator, who of you, Ms. Minoyan, the Economic Development Director, can speak to the jobs?
Mr. Minoyan.
Mr. Fay just asked profile of the jobs. Right now, currently, American Superconductor will be bringing 82 jobs here to the new site if this were to happen. And the plan is to sustain and maintain those 82 jobs. And then as the company gets stabilized here to the plan, hopefully the efforts start growing.
Where?
This is what we hope that new job creation will take place. And we know because of the profile of our folks that reside and live here in Ayer, we tend to work in more high-tech innovation firms because we know where they're leading every morning, we know where we're. We hope that many here people will be seeking those high-tech jobs. By the way,
Just help them get into the
salary
because in because we have no
I'm not sure what that was.
Hmm?
I'm not sure what these sounds.
Yes, ma'am. Please, ma'am, please stand up to state your name. Okay.
Along the same lines, what type, you said high-tech, but what type of high-tech jobs are you talking about?
Mr. Minoyan.
I think what we really impressed and notewortthy thing with this company coming, if it goes to come here, is having there. They are bringing here, this will be a corporate headquarters, so you have a corporate, executive plan. You will then also have your design and engineering divisions plan, and you have a manufacturing, or all things in one building. This is the type of breadth and range of jobs, so you have sort of the whole profile there. Your executives, your design and engineering, and get your manufacturing of the asset side. That's a good healthy mix.
Ms. Bedurtha.
I worked in banks and
Elizabeth,
digital-
project.
I worked in banks and digital Corporation a long time ago in accounting. Based on the information they gave and the information she gave, I don't think that we should subsidize that kind of money for you. If you wanted to ask for a TIF, that would be an entirely different thing. But you're asking us to use our money to help your company. I don't think that's right, and I vote against that adamantly.
Sir, could you stand up and state your name?
Hi, my name is Mark Miller. Hope you can hear me. I'm very sympathetic to business development, and I don't have any problem with giving the tax, freedom from taxes for a period of time. However, I look at it as an investment, and I'd like to see a return on investment. And if everything goes according to plan and everything's wonderful, then yes, it could benefit the town in a major way, but that's if. And generally, when I make investments, I'm as concerned about return of my investment as I am return on investment. And I am a little surprised that, if American Superconductor goes out of business or something like that, we really will have nothing. We'll be holding nothing. And it seems to me that we should have some ownership in that property or something of that nature. Because to me, when I invest, I want to make sure I get my money back. And that's the way I look at investments. It's the way I think about them. And I don't see that here in this agreement. I'd love to support the company. I really would. I mean that. I'm not trying to be a naysayer. Love to give them whatever tax advantage they need, but it seems to me that we should have some guarantees that if things don't go according to plan, we should be made as whole as possible. Just my opinion.
Mr. Popper,
Minoyan can speak to the clawbacks we talked about in the agreement, which are the insurances for the town.
Mr. Minoy.
Yes, it's very important point. We need to put these things together. So, we all talk straight, right? I've been a technology on this for many years. And yeah, sure. But you have to guard against it. Be very proactive and wise about it. Believe it or not, there are companies out there, firms who I look down and say, give us an incentive. Partner with us. Let's come in and let's prove to you what an asset this will be for your community. Very bad things have happened in the past in some cases.
Sir. Yeah, Mr. Benoit, hold on.
In this case, we have two entities we're dealing with. One is actually the owner of the property, which is 114 East Main Street, LLC. Technically, this is, we have the agreements, that owns the property. In the second, we're negotiating that, being passed through American Superconductor for the town. So we're really, working with the gentleman who owns the property. And I'll tell you, he is a person that high respect, someone with an amazing track record, someone here from our region, someone I would feel comfortable along the range with. The thing we have to protect folks here at Ayer, here's the most unique building in town. The Goodwins. We're an army town. I know this is my father was a chief petty officer for 25 years. We did all our shopping every blessed weekend of the Exton Conference. We were an army town. We did not have to compete. That happens when you have something that comes in the second place. So, Ayer's always been a community event for us. We're not a betting community. And Devin was there, and frankly, to get into a posture we know, we did this for 78 years. We know the social's going to be here next year. That's our economic engine. We don't have to be so hard about our urban around us. Devin has been close now for 20 years, an entire generation. It's tough. What's most precious to us now, by the way, folks, your town here is only 9.8 square miles. That's all. If you look at the town of Ayer now, you'll notice it's very linear.
Mr. Fay. Mr. Chairman.
The board, at the time, it was Gary and I at the meeting, and we... Project, sorry.
Yeah, we know you know how to speak
Yeah.
up.
I can speak up.
Just okay to get
We okayed it to come to you people. After Mr. Fay's question, I have a few questions of my own. So I would say we did not support it per se. We supported it coming to town meeting to present to the taxpayers of the town. The board itself did not take a vote whether to support. I didn't say that. I said that I haven't made up my mind, and after your question, I had a few questions of my own for them, because I have not made up my mind as of yet. No.
On September 13th, the Finance Committee voted unanimously 3-0 in favor of the agreement. However, we would like to see embedded in the agreement a tangible investment by American Superconductor into the community, whether it's something like sidewalks, a park somewhere, just something that the taxpayer gets in return for their investment in the organization.
So what's the, if I may, Mr. Moderator, once the agreement is drafted, the simple decision then is to hand to the board of selectmen, correct?
Town meeting.
It doesn't come back to us.
No, this is it.
Mr. Moderator, I have noticed in some of the more recent articles that they are actually specifically discussing this new to Ayer and saving them $45 million and helping them, helping them with some of their financial, which is one of the reasons, besides the fact that I believe I read there was a 8% workforce layoff in April, the stock has gone from an all-time high of $700 something dollars a share to $4.12, give or take a couple cents a share. This is in their best interest to move to Ayer. We are a wonderful opportunity for them. I believe in Alan's speech, but I don't think we need to pay them to do what's in their best interest. They're lucky to have us.
Ms. Tilton.
Jeff, to answer your question, there's absolutely nothing in the public record that addresses that, and I'd rather not speculate. I think we should let them speak for themselves.
Thank you. I was thinking on you doing it for
That's in the public record.
If I may ask, and I apologize for being late, this may have been asked already, have you signed a lease already on the property? And are you the ones that have started renovations on the building?
So we signed a tentative lease.
Okay.
We've done that because I think maybe we don't understand the process. Our understanding is to come to agreement with the town selectmen. I want to address this question. Yeah. Well, I know it's difficult. It's not that they say it's profitable.
They need to hear you. Okay.
I can hear you fine. You can talk to them.
So, ask the question again and I'll answer your question.
My question was, have you signed the lease and started?
There are provisions for us to tear up that lease and go someplace else. We've chosen to come to Ayer to continue to do that. We choose to be able to invest in our technology and move our company forward. There's a lot of companies that do this. They're all companies that we know want to start out some Tesla or even Apple. The fact that we use money is not necessarily to allow to have jobs like this to be able to stay in Massachusetts and be in Ayer.
Did I answer your question? Any further discussion? Mr. Patton? Mike, speak up. Project. Project. Project your voice.
My apologies. Michael Patton. I live at 42 Westwood Road. I have no connection with any of the parties. I'm going back a bit, but first of all, there was no mail notification of this, which means that I had no opportunity to look at anything until I walked in the door. I feel rather like a senator in Washington, being asked to vote on something I've just been had. Okay. More importantly, as I said, I had no opportunity to study it. It seems to me that this was a private arrangement between 114 Main Street, who bought the Kane building, ANSC, which is intending to move in. I understand that taxes are already being paid on it, so there's no impact on the town of Ayer at this time. Okay, so it's just private. Town of Ayer doesn't need to be involved. It doesn't look as though there's going to be any big advantage to us or any big disadvantage. Now, I can't agree with the article as it stands. I won't vote for 10 years. In the spirit of cooperation, I'd like to offer an amendment to the article, change from 10 years to 3 years. I'll debate that with myself. Okay, but that's my amendment. I hope that everybody will second it.
Is there a second? Second. Okay. Mr. Patton, please have him ready.
Say again.
Order of clarification from council.
Mr. Moderator, the article provides for the approval of the agreement. It is not a situation where town meeting has authority to draft the agreement or revise the agreement. The term of the agreement is not subject to town meeting approval, and town meeting cannot alter the term of the agreement. Town meeting approve the agreement in its substantial form as provided, but cannot alter the agreement.
Mr. Patton, your town council, your motion is out of order. Okay. Mr. Maxon. Mr. Bedurtha.
Could you point out that there's no legal requirement?
Seems like kind of a bad thing to me that, if the
Can you answer that? Mr. Moderator.
If I may through you to Mr. Puderta, as I mentioned, and that's why I took the 5 minutes of the introduction to explain the process we undertook and the transparency involved with that. The Board of Selectmen in July, in an open session hosted meeting that was televised, authorized myself, the assessor, the economic development director, to enter into negotiations with American Superconductor for a proposed agreement. Those negotiations culminated on September 5th in another televised, duly posted open meeting, which is, and by the way, all of our videos are on the town's website and Facebook page on September 5th. As Selectman Hillman mentioned, the Board of Selectmen voted unanimously to put it forth to you. At that meeting, I said, given the importance of this and the short time frame, and for the record, the time frame was generated by the state's timeline, not us. We said it was imperative to do a public forum. We did a public forum on September 14th at the town hall, advertising. We had these gentlemen here. It was televised on APAC. Some of you were there. There were about 15 people there. That presentation, as well as the video, was on the website and on the Facebook page. Additionally, the warrant, it's important to note that there is no legal requirement for the mailing of the warrant, given the fact that this was not budgeted for. We did not mail the warrant, but it was posted at all of the required posting places in town. It was put on the website and the Facebook page along with the actual agreement. It was also available during the hours of operation by the town clerk's office and the Board of Selectmen's office. Myself and my assistant, as well as the town clerk's office over the last 3 weeks, have probably received close to 42 calls from people asking about it and interested about it. The 2 code red notifications, one was released on Friday and one was released this morning to over 4,000 people by phone and email to come here tonight for this. And lastly, on Friday, for example, with all due respect, Mr. Patton came to see me on Friday. We talked about it, and we had the documentation available there. So through the moderator, again, we are always open to more suggestions on outreach, but I want to make it very clear that since July, multiple efforts have been made to make sure that the public is duly notified and aware of this matter. Thank you, Mr. Moderator.
Mr. Bertha.
Great effort. Is there a reason why we don't bother with this in the newspaper?
Oh, Mr. Moderator.
Sorry,
Mr. Moderator. Oh.
I mean, it's a small investment.
Here's the problem with the newspaper.
We don't have one.
I'm answering the question. My turn.
All right, sorry.
In case you haven't noticed, for those of you who are able to attend or watch the meetings or have heard us mention, the newspaper has had no interest in the town of Ayer. They've had an interest in Townsend. They've had an interest in Shirley and now in Groton because, you know, there's chaos. We have no chaos. They have no interest in us. Mr. Hillman specifically has emailed the newspaper and asked. Numerous invites have been made to a newspaper to please come and listen to what's going on in the town of Ayer because, quite honestly, ladies and gentlemen, we are the #1 town in this region, okay? All you have to do is look at the headlines. For all the others, it's bad. Lemon cakes, you know, chaos, everything, okay? They have had no interest in the town of Ayer. We would love it. We beg for it because it is important, because it does help get that information out. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help us help you by getting a hold of the newspapers. Thank you.
And we had our time in the newspaper where we had headlines in the old paper, which was definitely much better. But is it really too much to ask for a small
Mr. Bedurtha, at this point, you are repeating yourself at this point.
You're here.
Mr. Pont,
This is paying the money, putting a public notice in the paper, which, just like every other committee or board of selectmen needs to do for a public hearing. It's not, I'm not saying that it's a legal requirement, obviously it's not. I'm saying, let's at least put it in there. They don't have to record it, you pay to put it in the paper.
Mr. Cadigan.
John Cameron. We've heard from a couple of entities here that supported the proposal. The FinCom has supported it with a caveat, which we here appreciate. The subcommittee created by the selectmen obviously supported and produced a very informative information session a week or so ago with graphics and explanation and opportunity for discussion. And yet, the Board of Selectmen doesn't have a meeting. They say only that they approved having the meeting tonight for the town to make a decision. As the major administrative function of the town, what is your recommendation? Do you approve of the recommendation of your subcommittee and the FinCom or not?
Mr. Hillman, Chairman of the Board of Selectmen.
Mr. Cadigan, I apologize for not making up my mind before I came before you this evening, but I wanted to hear everybody's. I'm a business owner. I pay my 33% taxes. So I look out in this room and I see people who have worked in this town forever, who have been businesses, who have never come to us for anything. We, as a committee, being on the Capital Committee, we have asked you good people for more money each year for well-deserved projects that we have invested in. So me personally, as a business owner, I am very hesitant on saying yes to this because I don't see the full return for the town based on we can do this, we can do that. We can do a lot with $300,000 ourselves, so that's my opinion.
Mr. Cadigan.
If I may follow up, please. The FinCom has voted 3 to nothing in support of it. I guess what I'm asking, and I appreciate your statement. I would like to hear the ruling of the board of selectmen as an official body. What is their vote in support or non-support of this proposal?
We have not voted this board.
I hear you, but I don't hear the board of selectmen. Can you check the vote among yourselves and inform us?
We can do whatever we want, I guess, if it makes that
You're
much.
the chairman.
Mr. Richardson, take a vote now.
Mr. Moderator, the open meeting law doesn't apply to meetings at town meeting, and the board can take action, but they're not required.
Well, since. Mr. Moderator.
Mr. Luca.
We did put it forth. We've made a decision before that a decision by the board, in totality, is something that we will support going forward, no matter what it is. So, as far as I feel that we sent this forward, that we support it. I don't know if anybody. We didn't take a vote on it. No, we didn't. We took a vote to move it forward. So the good people of Ayer could vote for it or vote it down.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you got to go to the bathroom.
State your name. You don't forget to project.
Squeaky. Squeaky.
Is there a second? Second. At that point, all debate ends. Is there any discussion? I don't know. There is no discussion on this motion because immediately put to a vote. All in in favor, and it's a 2/3 vote. All in favor of removing the question, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? No. In the opinion of the moderator, it is a 2/3 vote, and the motion is carried. You'll now proceed to the question. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. It's a simple majority vote. The ayes have it. The motion is carried.
Done? Adjourn? What? Make a motion to adjourn?
Do I hear the motion to adjourn?
Second.
It's moved and seconded. All those in favor? Opposed?